All right, this is a Coleman dual fuel camp stove, model 424, and the complaint is it won't light. And apparently we replaced the fuel generator and kind of at our wit's end here. So dropped it off. I don't know a whole lot about it, but we'll open it up and we'll give it a look. Okay. So, little grate here. Got some goodies. Let me see here. Looks like there's a brand new extra generator for the stove. This looks like another one, but it's an old one, so it's been replaced, and it's pretty gouged up there, so somebody got at it with a pair of pliers to get it off. So, okay. Give that a little pull. Oh, that's really stuck. Oh boy. Yep, I can see where I was there, and I could see why somebody would use pliers on it. I think that's what that picture says, isn't it? But we won't look at this generator tool since it's already been replaced. We'll assume that it's okay. We'll go back to those directions if we need them. Get this out of here. It's got gas in it. Very carefully. A little bit of pressure, probably just from the transport, but it's not pumped up. So just going to take it and make sure it doesn't leak. Okay, which it doesn't, and it's not wet. Doesn't leak. Not wet. Feels good. Feels okay. Feels good. Okay. I am just gonna see if we get lucky. So what we're gonna do here is basic lighting of the stove. The way the instructions sort of tell you to. You never do this indoors. I seem to be doing that indoors, but okay, so I'm going to unscrew this one turn, and then I'm going to pump it 35 times. While I'm pumping it, there's no magic number, I'm just going to pump it for a while. But I'm looking at the end to make sure there's no gas coming out. I don't see any gas coming out of the tank. It feels like it's pressuring up. It should be pushing back on me now. Okay. It is. I'll give it a pump there. So again, I don't see any evidence of leakage or any of that. So carefully get your match lit. It's good we did that first. These matches might be a little old. They don't even sell them like this anymore. And now 2 turns. And I've got nothing. So I'm not atomizing gas. I'm going to turn it right back off. Okay. Turn this back down. All right. So it doesn't just start. It does stump. And I'm going to turn the video off and do a little research. Okay, I unscrewed the needle valve that came with the new stove, new generator, and if we can see this or not. Doesn't look like we can. The threads, it looks like these very fine threads that are on there are, like maybe it was cross-threaded, so it wasn't screwed in all the way. It looks rough. I'm going to see if I can clean those threads up and then retry this needle valve again. So. There we go. All right. So, flip it up and there we go. So, it's about as good as they ever get. I'm going to leave I'm going to turn it off before the whole tube heats up and it goes through the whole process here. Have a nice day. So that sort of tells the story in a nutshell. Believe it or not, there's even more detail and boring footage that I've included at the end of this. If you're interested, hang around. There's probably 4 or 5 minutes more of me rambling into the camera with no particular purpose. But I like to watch it. Again, have a great day. We'll see you later. All right, we can't really see it with my camera, but I'm going to hold these two pieces up here, and I can't get it to focus. This is the one that was cross-threaded, and I'm having some trouble cleaning the threads up. So I took the old one out, and it doesn't look too bad. I had some trouble getting it out. When I've cleaned it up, it feels nice and smooth, and the old threads look nice and clean. And I was only able to screw this new needle in a half a turn, maybe a turn and a half. I'm going to try this old needle and see how it goes in the valve. So I'm going to turn it the wrong way until I feel it step down. That tells me I'm starting the thread. Now I'm turning it. That's 1 turn. That's 2 turns. Oh, it's going in. I stopped counting, but it's going in a bunch. Okay. Feels like it stopped right there. That feels good. I'm going to tighten it a 1/4 turn. Yep. Perfect. Don't want to over tighten it. And now what'll happen is the needle is, because it's because the needle is screwed further down in the needle is screwed further down in the saddle, it'll pull back further from the opening, which will let gas flow. So I'm pretty confident that when we put this in the stove, that the stove is going to start. So I'm going to just give this a little tighten. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure it's off, relieve pressure, no pressure, and we're going to pump it, open, pump it 30 times. So again, we're going to look for any evidence of leaks. We don't see any. It still has fuel in it. That's a good sign. Okay, it is pumped up. Now what should happen, I'm going to relieve this, and now I'm going to open this up, and we should see fuel come out of there. Well, look at that. Did you see it? So, next thing you see will be me lighting the stove. There we go. All right. So, flip it up, and there we go. So, it's about as good as they ever get. I'm going to leave I'm going to turn it off before the whole tube heats up and it goes through the whole process here.
So what we're looking at is the old generator tube and the new needle valve that I removed because it appeared to be cross-threaded. And I thought it might be interesting to see if we can get a better view of what was going on with those threads. So we'll take a look at it here and see what it looks like. So if we can get that a little closer. And we're going to look at the threads right there on the end. Closer still. All right. There we go. There. So look at that very carefully. Oops. You can see that the first few threads right out there towards the end, oops, right there, are a little buggered up. And that is what kept, you can see they're not quite like the threads a little further up. So because it was cross-threaded, it wasn't all the way in, and because it wasn't all the way into the valve, it was shutting off all the fuel. It wasn't getting out past the needle. So I know that's not a great explanation, but I thought I'd use this as an excuse to use this cool zoom-in camera that I have, and that's the end of that. I'm out of here.